What is up, everyone? Bradley Jack Design here, ready for some
basketball
going on tonight. So let's see if I can get Photoshop to work. I'm trying to get Photoshop to work 2021 instead of 2020. We'll see if it actually works or not. Let me hit a couple more buttons. All right, we got Photoshop here. Let me hit a button. As you can see, no, it does not. Super weird. I don't know why it does that yet. I thought I fixed it by like restarting, but it does not work that way. Let me hit a couple more buttons. So we're gonna try something. I saw something on Instagram. They got me some inspiration for this. So we're gonna try and make a sort of scene similar to that. Let me get Photoshop to load ungodly slow. We'll use our general settings. Here we go for Photoshop. All right, let me hit a couple buttons here. See if I can get something to work. Yeah, it should be fun doing some basketball stuff. I got my Pau Gasol Grizzly Bee jersey on, so that's fun. I think my aunt got this when the Grizzlies like became an extension team or something. It was like the first year they had something. I don't know. Okay, so let me find the inspiration for what we're gonna do. And I haven't done a lot of prep work for this, so it's gonna be interesting. But this is sort of the thing I found. Like I found this thing and I just thought this was cool. Making like a big screen with some stuff on it, have it interact with the city, have someone looking off on it. So that is our inspiration. So what do we got going on? I figured we'd do something with the Grizzlies with it, with something to do with Giannis, just to do it in case they win tonight. So I got a couple photos here that I pulled from Unsplash of Milwaukee, because that's where the Grizzlies are. Like this one's probably pretty decent. I like this one, just like this water tower on top. We'd probably go like this. Maybe have something down below. Yeah, maybe the water tower has stuff on it. What's up, Alex? We're here to get weird. I got Pau Gasol Grizzly jersey on.
basketball.
Okay, so what I was trying to do, which Garrett Little had a good idea, was I was gonna have. He thought it'd be cool to have big sign of Giannis winning championship, and then down below was like Kareem, you know, Kareem in a Bucks jersey looking up at it like he joined me sort of thing. So hey, look, there's Garrett. So we thought that was a good idea, but I couldn't find any good photos of Kareem from behind wearing a Bucks jersey. So probably not going to do that. Then I thought it would be funny if we did like Devin Booker down here at the bottom. You know, his like meme of him laying on the ground. Be funny if he was laying on the ground looking up at he just lost. But we'll figure something out. I think I'm gonna use this photo. We'll use this photo as a front. Yeah, Henry, Garrett is here. You don't have to tag him on Twitter. It's already here. All right, so first things first. So what I want to do is, I don't think I've ever done this before, is I want to turn this into nighttime. Now I know there's a color lookup. What is, oh God, I thought I clicked and all my color lookups were gone. Isn't there one that's day to night, or is it night to day? Night from day. Okay, that's fine. That's not too bad. We'll just select all of this up here, and then I don't know, make a new layer and just fill it with black. There. Nighttime. Then we'll go to the adjustments and we'll just drop the blues. And then we'll add an adjustment layer of curves, which is
Curves.
But really, we're just going to convert this to a smart object. How do you add custom LUTs to that list? Super easy. Because it's very nice to know how to do that. It's actually super easy. You just go into Adobe Photoshop, and then you just go to presets, and you go to LUTs, and you just put them in here. It's actually very easy. Yeah, pretty much what Henry just said. So this is like this. So what I want to do is I want to do some camera raw to this night photo we just made up. So I need more contrast because I need it to actually be darker, and I want the shadows. Boost the highlights a little bit. I want the blacks to be real black. I don't want the whites to be too white. The highlights are too much. Saturation I'm going to lower because it doesn't matter, because we're going to probably use some sort of...
Radiant map.
to add the color. What I'm pretty much just trying to do is trying to make this look more like it's nighttime. So we'll do that. You can see it real dark, which is fine because we're going to go back and add color back in. So let's find some photos. I usually do this ahead of time, but we'll do it with you guys. So as usual, we go to Google Advanced Image Search. I'm going to search for photos of Giannis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find a photo of him like happy, and then we're just going to Photoshop like Jordan or LeBron holding a trophy. NBA trophy. The Larry O'Brien trophy. Like there's got to be a photo of someone just like, yeah. You know, you would think. It would probably be easier if I searched like Michael Jordan with trophy. You know, like this. You know, this is what I want. Like a photo like this. Very weird. Nope. This article probably doesn't exist anymore, which is why this photo. Hey, look at that. Whoops. All right. So here's Lowry holding it, which isn't bad. So then I just need a photo of Giannis sort of looking up and excited. Or I guess I could find a photo of him in like his MVP trophy and then just fudge it and do that. Actually, no. No, I know what we're going to do. Okay. Devin Booker. So I want Devin Booker. I want the back of Devin Booker. So like this. But I want a big photo. It doesn't really matter because I think I'm going to blur it out a little bit. But I just want something bigger than that. So we're going to have him looking up at this big, menacing Giannis, looking down on him. Alright, I think that photo is actually the best to use. What is this? Alright, let's open this in a new tab. Oh good, that means it's got some stuff going on. I just like to add everything right here. And then boom, big photo, giant photo, wonderful. Okay. We got nighttime. I could probably use any city for this, but I'm just using Milwaukee because it's Milwaukee. So we're gonna have Booker right here, dead center. Let's make sure it's dead center. We'll do this. Over here, I like to do modify, contract. I don't know, let's do like 100 pixels. Just have a nice little border that we can play around with. I believe there's a add-on you can use that does this for you, but I'm gonna do it this way. Okay, let's hop back here. Cool. All right, so let's, clearly we need to select this photo of Devin Booker and clip him out. So we'll go ahead and do that. Super easy. Using the quick select tool. And I think this is going to be mildly blurred, but maybe not. So I don't have to have exact details. I can always fudge his hair. It's not a problem. Who do you guys predict is going to win? You think the Heat? What am I thinking? You think the Bucks are going to finish it out tonight, or Suns in 6? Or Bucks in 7? You know, who knows? Let's round this little corner off. I don't know, because the home team has won every time. So are they playing one? They just played 3 in Milwaukee, right? So the Suns, they're playing in Phoenix tonight. 2-3-1-1, isn't that how it goes? Something weird like that. Someone let me know in chat. This is the only jersey I own, so you can tell how much I pay attention to the NBA. What I do pay attention to is how Tibbs does not play Obi Toppin enough. But that's for another day. Alright, that's probably good enough. Keyword, good enough. Alright, let's mask this. Yeah. That looks real funky. I gotta fix that. Bucks stole the last game in Phoenix. Gotcha. So yeah, that was, I mean, that's it. They're done. Unless Giannis gets hurt again. Then I suppose they can do that. All I know is Tom Brady will be MVP tonight. I don't know. Edelman was MVP that one year. Wasn't what's-his-face MVP? Malcolm Butler, because he caught that pass. Because they didn't run like they should have. Alright, we got Booker at the bottom. Cool. Alright, let me just shift this over a little bit. So the scene I showed you guys is like really futuristic. It had a lot of cool stuff going on in the foreground. I don't think we're going to have that. We might add some stuff to it later. But mainly what we're going to do is we're going to find a nice menacing photo of Giannis. So I want a big photo of Giannis. I mainly want I want like a headshot. Like I want this photo, like of him being like super pumped, but I want it to be a little bit different. I want it to be him just like yelling or looking dead on at the screen. Like a headshot, but mean. Yeah, like this, but forward. It's funny seeing all these old photos of Giannis where he's like super tiny. All right, Giannis head. Perfect. So I want that, except him not smiling. I guess I can search mad, like, it is an option. I can search mad Giannis. Cool thing is, Giannis was the first subject of the first video I posted on YouTube. How to edit photos. Man, I'm not even searching for like big photos right now, and it's not finding a lot. It's kind of weird. Yeah, yelling. We just search Giannis yelling. Good idea. Yeah. I need this, but not Yeah, yelling's a better idea. That's a good one. I might do that. But as I showed you, what we're going to do, go back to that one we were just at. So like the inspiration is just a huge head. So that's what we're gonna go for. I want Giannis. See if I search. This might work. No, it won't. Look how terrible this photo is. It's a terrible photo. I mean, this is a good photo. Yeah, let's see this one. That'll work. Save image to downloads. Okay. Let's pop back over to Photoshop. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a rectangle. What we're going to do with this rectangle essentially is set up this screen. So I'm just going to make it pink just so I know what I'm doing and can see what I'm doing. Okay, I want it. What's up, Sam? Where is the thing I want? Isn't there a way that I can... Hold on. There we go. Let me see the bottom of this. Perspective. There. Now it moves both sides at once. So now he's looking at something that's in perspective. And we'll put it like that. So it's just this big screen. Looks like that. You know, maybe it's a little bit shorter. Okay, so now we have this rectangle. I already messed up, so let's fix this. All right, rectangle. Right click, convert to smart object. Now we're going to perspective warp it. Whoops. Move the top in a little bit. Shrink it down like that, shrink it up. Kind of like that. All right, cool. Now if we go into this rectangle, we can throw this photo of Giannis and just do whatever. You know, make it huge. Save, go back. Now we got giant Giannis up here, so that's good. And we might have to tweak some things to make it not as distorted. You know, maybe we stretch him down a little bit like that. So we go back here, he looks a little bit more normal. So that's good. So what we want to do, let me just pull this photo. So this is inspiration. Let me just turn this into a smart object. Double click it. There, now it's in a different area. I can delete it from here. Okay, so we got this and this. So basically what we need to do is we need to make this illuminate light and make everything around it bounce light off of it based on that. We need to pick what color light we want, and then we need to do all the effects to Giannis himself. And we need to make this look like it's a realistic light board too. So I'm going to convert this. We're going to give this a color overlay. We're going to do black. And we're going to do some blurring. I don't know how much blurring. We're basically just going to give this thing a big drop shadow, but we're going to make it ourselves. So I did this in one of my other. I did this to make the logo look cool. And the carry price gonna go to the Kraken carry price. Okay. So let's see. How do we want to turn this into a screen? So if I look at the screen, it's got a bunch of little tiny dots. So that's what we need to do to this Giannis here. At a top order shipped. Cool. Okay, so we have Giannis here. So what I want to do, there's a couple different ways I can do this. I'm going to open up Illustrator. We don't hop in Illustrator that often. So let's do it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some gradient maps to do a lot of the coloring. I'm going to scrunch this back down because I really don't like how it looks. We're going to make Giannis huge. I'm just going to go ahead and do just some random filter effects to edit this photo. Big yikes. Let's do this. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Illustrator. It's loading. All right, here's Illustrator. So what we have here is a, we'll make the artboard the exact same size. 933 by 15, this number. And we'll zoom out. Okay, so now we got to figure out how we want to make, how big we want the LCDs to be. Now the LCDs, I'm trying to find a microscope photo of an LCD. So microscopy stuff. So we're gonna do like long. We'll do like rounded rectangles. I think that'll work. So I'm gonna make one rectangle that's black. I guess I can make it the exact same as this. And then I can use some of the alignment tools to align to the artboard and make it dead center. Except we have some ratio stuff on. There we go. All right. So we got black. So I'm putting black on here. The halftone would probably work for the pixely effect. I just want to try something else. We'll look in here first and see what we can find out. So like, there's a bunch of different ways you can do halftones. Like there's a halftone pattern here. But I have, yeah, I mean that would kind of work. I just need this to be black. Filter gallery. You can go to sketch halftone pattern. You can change dot to line. Yeah, I might just do that. Yeah, that'll save things. You know, size 1, hit OK, boom. Okay, there, we solved that issue very easily. What I was gonna do, which we will still do to see what we like better, is we're going to take this, we're going to copy and paste it. We're going to give it a stroke on the outside, but the stroke is going to be on the inside, I don't know, 25 pixels. Okay. Paste this. I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to round these edges a bit, like that. We're going to go to Window, Swatches, which are over here. I'm just going to drag this to the swatch. So I'm going to take this then, hit this button, go back, go like this, boom. Now we have our LCD boards. So now what I can do is I can double click into here. This is our pattern. So our pattern right now, I'm going to make it yellow so we can see it. Here are the pattern options. So right now it's sized to the art. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a couple pixels bigger on both sides, like that. And then I'm going to make it, actually it doesn't matter, but I'll make it white. So now if I go back, so here's this big LCD board now. So now if I take this and put it to the back and make this something less, like 8, we've got this LCD board. And that sort of resembles the inspiration because what we were looking at was a huge LCD board and you could see the lines a little bit better. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go here, I'm going to paste it on top. It's a smart object. What's up, Charm? I'm going to select that to multiply, which is fine. I'm going to filter this. We're going to just not displace it. We're going to crystallize it a little bit, like 3 cells to jag it up just a little bit. Maybe not. But I can take the top copy without the filter gallery, set to screen. Underline layer is black, do not blend in. Maybe not, maybe not. You know, there's a bunch of different ways. So you know, like that. So like, yeah, it's definitely not strong enough. Okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's go back. Let's do this. All right, so here's like an LCD screen. So I need to duplicate this and just set it to screen. And I need to blur it. Because blurring it a couple times is really going to give us that LCD effect that I want. So let's blur this a little bit less. So, you know, this is the inspiration. This is what we're looking at now. You know, we're pretty close. These are like, as you can see, very sporadic. They're more just lines going down, so we can fix that. I can go into this smart object. I can go into the swatch and I can just change the height to something a little less, save it, go back. Now it's a little bit better like that. Like that looks cool. You can see the individual pixels that you would have, or the individual frames, so that's cool. So I think that's fine. I think we can change the color in here now. So let's grab Bucks hex codes from our favorite website. Oh, cool. So here are the Bucks colors. So we're going to use this Great Lakes blue as well. So I'm just going to set up a gradient map. We're going to put the Great Lakes blue in there. We're going to take this green and we're going to put it in there as well. Green is darker, so we will put it there. Maybe we just want it to be green. I think just green would probably work. I'm going to look and see the saturation of this is 100. I mean, the brightness is 28, so I'm going to put this at 28. And that should be perfect. Okay, so let's drop this down here and set it to color. We'll just set it to color on all of these. I could probably just put these all on the same. Let's do screen. I'm trying to think how I want this to be portrayed and how different it looks if I group them together or if I copy this and paste it in here. You know? Yes, hello everyone except for Nightbot. I think that's good. Let's put this behind it. These Don't have blend ifs, so that's good. I really need this like super. I need this like a lot blurred. I need this to start light leaking into other spots. So then if the underlying layer is bright, we're not going to affect that as much. Let's do that here as well. Underlying layer. It's bright, don't affect it. Maybe, maybe not. You can also just do this with curves. We'll just do it with the curves. There it is. My music just stopped for a second. I got very confused. Okay. So we have this light source here that we're going to have. You know, it's an okay light source now. We need it to be a much better light source. So we got Booker. We're going to take care of him. That's fine. So we've got this back area. So we're going to use a curves adjustment and boost up the darks on the back area. We're editing it so we don't want it to affect the top end. We only want it to affect the bottom, the darker areas, which it sort of is. Okay. Now let's try this. To show you how to use curves a little bit too. So we're editing the bottom color, so we can drag up the green and it'll increase the green. Now the good thing is we're just using green, so I can probably just use green. But if I want it to be a little bit more vibrant, I can drop the red. And then I can drop the blue. And it's a little bit more vibrant. Okay, let me really drop this down. I'm trying to think of how I want this to be done. I think it's just too bright. Okay, hold on. So essentially what we're going to do is we need to now figure out where the light from this is going to hit this, if at all. Now it's probably going to, because it looks like, you know, is this the same level? Is this jutted out a bit? Some light is going to leak over into these spots, and it's going to hit some of these spots up here. So really I want this to be a highlight, which is what we're doing. So I did this wrong, so that's fine. The process of what I was trying to do did not make any sense. Okay, let's invert this. So this is what I wanted to do. So as you can see now, we can have it blend in. Probably informative. So I can have like a layer like this. I can go in. I'm going to feather this like 20. And just go like this. And I'm just going to delete everything behind this building. Oops. I guess I can just use a brush too. But basically, it's not going to hit certain parts. Like, some of the light's going to be seen, some of it's not. So we're just going to fudge that. And this is too tall, so it wouldn't actually hit up here. It would hit more of the sides. So I'm going to duplicate this curves layer. Delete the layer mask. So you see this is what it's hitting. So it's turning everything green. Turning all this up here green. Which is all good and fine. This one we're going to mask out. And we're going to paint it back in. Except that's way too much. So 20%. We're just going to paint around this. So it's emitting green on all of this stuff. You know, it's going to emit green on these cars you can't see below. It's going to emit green on all of this. And it would probably emit green on like this corner here and a little bit over here as well. But also it's going to hit all these surfaces that are upwards a little bit more. And I should go in here. And I should be pretty meticulous with this. I'm going to do it very quickly. Basically just go up the side of this and make sure it doesn't touch anything back here. Because it technically wouldn't because it's behind it. And it wouldn't on this as well. So there. So that's a little bit better. And I should darken that area back there. So I might do that as well. But we'll do that. So let's just go real quick. I mean, this area is pretty dark. I could probably just hit this all like that. And delete it. All right, let's save this as Giannis just billboard.psb. Starting off with a PSB file already. Okay. So I'm going to go in here. So I want this on top. Yeah, I want this on top. So I'm going to add some text to this. Let's say like Bucks win or something like that. Big white. Someone give me a nice typeface they like. Nice thick typeface. Before I use Dharma Gothic condensed heavy. Very weird. Proxima Nova. I have Proxima Nova bold, but I don't have black. Oh, let's use a futuristic font. That would make more sense. I need to check Porter's TikTok for suggestions. I guess I should do that. Say, did I get any... Man, you can like barely see that's what that says. What does it look like out here? It says Bucks win, and you can tell. Okay, cool. Well, it's good that the whole effect we want is working. Like, it doesn't look like much here, but in the end, that's all that really matters. Okay. I feel like I just downloaded some really weird fonts. Like I could use this. You know, it doesn't really fit, but it fits the whole futuristic vibe. Even though you can't read it at all. What else do we got on here? I downloaded a font that was, I think, originally for... It's a foreign language font, but it looked really cool. What if it was one of these? Might have been this. Oh well. We'll use this for now. It's big rollerball text. Do you guys even know what rollerball is? In the chat. Drop me some knowledge if you guys know what rollerball is. I'm just gonna do that, see what it looks like. Sure. Bucks win. Whatever. We can fix it later. Man. 2 movies came out. Original Rollerball with James Caan from the 70s. It's a great movie. It's not an arcade game, it's an old movie. Then they did another movie. Might have been Rollerball 2000. Rollerball 2002 with LL Cool J and Rebecca Romaine. It's a good movie though. Alright, so we got Bucks win. We got this going on here. So I actually need to convert this to layers. And it just broke everything. What got super broken? all the camera raw effects. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna fake the funk. It's kind of confusing why it did that. Ah, it's different size, that's why. Oh, and all of this is hitting black, so it doesn't matter. Is that why? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I can turn that on and go like this. So I want these to be independent so I can tweak them and brighten things up. No, Porter, I'm wearing a Grizzlies jersey because we're talking about
basketball. Basketball.
we're talking about basketball. So that's what's up. Okay, so this is making everything dark and blue. This is taking away all the gray. Camera raw I don't need as much. So this is no blue. And this is darken. Okay. Sorry, so what I want is I want the ability to tweak these photos. So what I really want to do is I need to go to the adjustments and I need to change the exposure, which is going to look good. We're talking about
basketball.
okay. So I've got the exposure there. So now what I want to do, if I get rid of this, brightens up an awful lot. So I'm going to take a very narrow brush and I'm going to go in, and this is a faint narrow brush. And I'm just going to like hit these areas that would hit it a little bit more. So the tops of these areas would get hit with light more significantly than other areas. So I just want to brighten those areas up. And we're probably going to brighten up a lot of the areas near the LCD screen, just to see if we can make it look a little bit more realistic. So like all this up here, this is all getting blasted up here, because this would all be getting lit by this. Now one thing we're going to do at the end of this is we're going to give everything sort of a little bit of a blur. That's sort of what we see here. Everything's a little bit blurry. So we're going to do that. But for now, we're going to do this. Trying to see, is that one of these? Yeah. See, I don't like that. So based on these layers, because I gave it a little bit of a color, you can really see it in these areas that I don't have it. I think you're going to really be able to see it. Porter, I usually spend like 3 hours on All Elite Wrestling stuff. How those work is they give me basically an allotted amount of time. And that's basically with so I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. They give me an allotted amount of time based on my billable hours. And then I go from there. So a lot of the stuff for All Elite Wrestling is like 3 hours. Sometimes it's 6. Just depends on what it is. Most of the time it's 3. So most of the stuff you see that I post, I do in like 3 hours. But, you know, I I do a lot. I can do a lot with a little bit of time, which they know, which I think is why they like to use me and like Johnny for a bunch of stuff for them, because we're very quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try and darken up this back area here. No, I'm not. Where's that gradient map? So I'm going to throw this gradient map on everything and just set it to hue. Except not on him. So this glues everything together a little bit. It doesn't look quite as well as how I want, but we can fix that by duplicating this layer. A little fuzzy. A little bit better. All right, this looks okay. And this might just be one of those days where it's an okay graphic, but we'll see. All right, so let's make Devin Booker look normal. It's not enough. And maybe we'll add some other. We'll add some others. We got an idea of how to make this pop a little bit more. We did the exposure. Now we're gonna do the color balance that Garrett is in love with. One of these is color balance. I don't use it that often, so here it is. So we need to add green. We need to add green to the midtones. We need to add green to the highlights, and we need to add green to the shadows. But I should really pay attention to what I'm doing. We really need to just add green to the midtones. We need to make it a lot darker. That's pretty decent. We can go darker with it, but we're gonna do that with curves layers. Yeah, if I add or take these away, it doesn't really do a lot. So add a lot more green. Okay. So let's start with a curves adjustment to darken this up, and we're gonna add green to the shadow like this. And we don't want this to affect super bright parts. So we'll do that. Cool. The newest subscriber's name is in Russian. So that's why it looks like that. Someone subscribed 15 hours ago. So if you unsubscribe and subscribe, you know, it'll clear that. All right, so we got Booker. Let's just do this all the way down to like that. Invert it. I'm gonna go in here and paint in the areas I want it to darken. There we go. We're gonna be pretty heavy with this. We're pretty much going to darken the whole part of this. I mean, I could probably just delete this layer mask, really. Let's just do that. All right, we're going to select him, select, modify. We're going to contract. Let's do 2 pixels. Adjustments, curves. We're going to boost it up from the bottom, though. Green. We're going to boost green. I think we're going to take this down a little bit, though. You see, if I do that, it brightens, but the green boosts a lot more once you get it past that layer. Just want a little bit. You know, like that. So let's attach that. Let's make it so it doesn't affect the bottom, I don't know, 115. And we'll invert that. And then we'll take that mask and we'll feather it. So that looks better. Looks more realistic. I think he looks a little too green based on this gradient map. So let me set that gradient back to color and like 50%. That looks definitely more realistic now. So that's good. So I'm going to duplicate this curves layer. And it's inverted. So now what I'm going to do is we're just going to hit some spots with a low opacity brush. Let's do 10%. We're just going to hit the areas that would be affected by more light. So his hair here. And I'm going to take this. I'm going to boost the underline layer. I'm going to make it so it only affects like the darkest darks. So we still sort of want it to reflect in his hair a little bit. Basically, we're going to hit tops of his arms real good. We're going to hit his tops of his forearms like this real good. Because that's what's getting hit by this light because it's above him. We got Booker. So we got this curve. I'm going to duplicate this darkening and invert it. And now I can use this very heavy-handedly to hit like the inside of his palms, to hit underneath here. Hit the back of his jersey like this that you're not going to see. Anything that's going to be getting a shadow cast to it, sort of like that. Now I think that's a little too much. Because then there's just like this crazy contrast and like I don't really like how this looks. That looks a little bit better. We've got Bucks win. We got that going on. Oh, let me look up. Just Blade Runner. I just want a starry sky or something like that. I want a photo. I just want a photo of this guy. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna take this Milky Way image and I'm just gonna mask it to this area that is now dark and save it and go back here, and now we have stars in the sky. Makes it look a little bit more realistic, so that's good. So I mean, this is a cool concept we've got going on. Like, you know, this is the inspiration. Now the inspiration works so well because of the color pairing too. It's got the pink and the blue, which pair together well, and then there's other stuff that we can have stuff reflect on. In the foreground, we don't have much in the foreground here to reflect stuff on. We would have to add it in later. So I'm gonna make a new layer that we have all of this stuff combined together. So I can go to the camera raw filter and we can do some effects to that. So I think we need to increase the contrast. So I usually hit dehaze to dehaze my photos, but I actually want to add some haze. So I'm gonna drag that to the right. And I'm going to get rid of some of the clarity and let's add a little bit of texture. Boost the vibrance and saturation a little bit. You know, maybe we add some distortion on the back end. But it looks like that. So it looks a lot more like this with this blurriness going on. So we've got that as just an effect. So let's go to bridge now. And what I might want to do to make this look the most realistic is get rid of this green, because it's only in the other one because it looks cool and futuristic, and just have him be looking up at it. But we're gonna go into some stock images. I've got a bunch of fog images in our inspiration. There's just like fog randomly around, so I'm just gonna add some fog. But I want some light fog. Like, I think a lot of these are like super heavy-handed. I just want like a general light fog, you know, like this. And I want it to be in front of the building, but behind Booker. So set that to screen, set it to 20%, and then I'm actually gonna throw some curves on there.
Curves.
To darken up some areas and add a lot of contrast. So if I hit 100, it looks like that. So I mean, that looks cool. set that to normal. Let me delete this curves layer actually and do a levels layer. Yeah, I want it like that. Like, I want it so you can barely see it. And again, underneath everything, sort of like that. And we're gonna set it to 50%. I'm gonna duplicate it and rotate it just a little bit and just kind of like throw it off. So there, now we got Booker looking up at it. That looks cool. Let's get down to business. Okay. Stock images, lens dirts.
Hooray!
You know how much we love lens dirts. Let's use one I've never used before. Let's use 20. Yeah, chat. If you haven't liked this video, you know what they're doing? They're learning. They're learning, Garrett. Adjustments, levels. Let's drop levels down here. That is good. I think Booker actually looks pretty sweet from the front. I think that actually competition looks nice. Composition. Actually, I'm gonna make this gradient map for this lens dirt like blue. Let's make it a Bucks blue. Do I have that on here still? Yeah, let's make it this hex color. Yeah, sometimes this overlay doesn't work very well. It doesn't like to work. Unless I have, like, the dashboard up. Let me pull it up again. Reload it and see if it pulls up. Nope. Maybe it's learned too much from you just, like, doing it over and over again. All right, so if this was the street, we've got Bucks win on this. I think we need to add more stuff to the other buildings. I don't know what, because like we could be done. Like this is cool. Like, you know, we could be done right now. I think some of the coloring is a little too intense. So I'm gonna get rid of some of the coloring to make it a little bit more realistic. That means I need to drop the green on all of these, which I can do. Usually when I make something, I go a little bit too far with some effects, and it's like, hey, draw that back a little bit. This looks a little bit more... Yes! Windows can be lit. Yeah, I was going to do that. You know, these windows are lit up. So these are obviously not lit up. These are actually... Are these bricked in? So here's the photo. So these are bricked in. This window we can have a light coming out of, so can this one and this one. And then some of these. So that one's off the screen. So let's get rid of some of these effects and we'll take a look at what we're looking at. So it's a door. So yeah, that. We can make this one light up. That's hilarious. Okay. So for that, I don't really know how we want to do that. Let's do this. Okay, so we're going to go on top of all of this. And we're just going to draw a box. I don't know the exact way I want to do this. What would Benny do? Here, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what Benny would do, and he would probably do something like this. So we're going to make this green. We're gonna make this so the underlying layer. Let's see what happens if I do this. That's fine. We're gonna set this to screen. We're gonna duplicate it. We're gonna filter, blur, Gaussian blur, convert to smart object, Gaussian blur, but we only want to do like 5 pixels. Duplicate it again. Duplicate it again. Select this. Go down to the exposure, delete, delete. 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 Outer glow might work. I'm trying to basically like fake that. So I got this whole darken here, so I'm just kind of want to like hit that. Like this. Basically just increase the exposure around this window. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It could look way worse. All right, so let's go like this, group this together, window. I mean, all in all, that could look a lot worse. We'll duplicate that. Go over here on this window. Go down here again. Brighten up this area. I mean, yeah. That could look way worse than it does. So that kind of worked. Let's do it over here now. Rectangle, stretch, stretch magetch. Do one of these. I'm holding down the command key and it's allowing me to just move all of the sides of the window. So I can put it wherever I want, like that. We'll just duplicate it, put it here, and we'll tweak it a little bit. Sorry, I want the direct select tool, because the direct select tool will also allow me to pick and choose each path directly. So I can go like this and make it a little bit more correct. So I can take these two windows. Let's just turn these into a smart object. Let's just do the same thing we did to those. So we Gaussian blurred it. What is this rectangle? Hold on. Is this... There's an actual rectangle up there that already exists. Yeah, let me drag that over like that. Okay. So we need these to be normal. Sorry, so I need to get rid of the Gaussian blur. Get out of here. Set them to screen. Duplicate it. Then we have a Gaussian blur. Then we duplicate it again, and then we do another Gaussian blur, but it's like 15. Right? And it's set to screen. What's this Gaussian blur? 5? Sorry, so it's 5, 5. And then the top one's 15. They're all just 5. I don't even know what I'm talking about. You know what would help? Doing this thing called labeling stuff. Long windows. Short windows. Windows. Yeah. So let's do this. Left windows. Right. Okay. So really what I want to do is I want to select this and then delete it from here, but that's not really working. Yeah, and I meant to... That is something I wanted to do, is I wanted to add windows like this. I was just going to steal them from a different composition and just be like, oh, here are windows. I stole them from another building, because would be super easy to do. But this also works. I think they look a little less... They definitely look better up here than they do down there, and that's because they're already starting with a white base. So these here, if I can find them. These initially, I need to take the fill color, which I can't do, so I can do a color overlay. I'm gonna do a color overlay of white, but I'm gonna set it to like 45%. And then let's Gaussian blur on like a pixel. Yeah, that's better. And then this darken area back here, I can take a faint brush and make this whole side of the building a little faintly bigger, brighter. Yeah, that adds a little something extra, so that's cool. Good suggestion. I forgot I wanted to do that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So now if we take this whole composition we have, make a new layer, add everything to it, right click, convert to a smart object, add our camera raw to that. It looks like that. Now that's a little too much now. So let's go back into the camera raw. Let's pump back this dehaze a little bit. And that's that. So yeah, that's cool. So it's funny that the window is on here, but it's not on up here. So maybe we fix that. Yeah, I'll just use this. What I really should have done was I should have just waited until the game was on and then just done this during the game. That would have been cool. You guys just hang out with me, watch some
Basketball.
That's just entertainment right there. Nothing is more entertaining than that. Okay, so we're going to convert these to a smart object. Side left windows. Wide left windows, whatever. So we're going to Gaussian blur these. We're going to add the color overlay. We're going to duplicate this, get rid of the color overlay, set it to screen, Gaussian blur it to 5. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Side windows, save. You've got this darken. Brighten this up. Exposure. Brighten this up to both of them. And I really want to get like inside this area where it's actually hitting. Get rid of the exposure. Which one of these is brightening? This one. Brighten, 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 brighten. Brighten, brighten. How many screens y'all got in your house? Are you meaning for the windows that we have? It's not bright enough for me. So I need this color overlay to be like 66. That's way better. Well, I gotta look at something. Awesome. Boy, Thomas Northcutt had to send me something cool. All right, so this is brightening up. So let's see if I can brighten this up a little bit. Brighten, 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 brighten. Oh, to watch the game. I mean, I have a lot of TVs, so a lot. Just brighten up over here a little bit more. Let's turn this on. Let's make this we've made so many windows. Let's make this one. Thomas forgot what day it was, so he'll be here soon. So I'm just gonna go on the inside where this black is. Black. And then we can blur everything from there. It's like that looks weird, so let's do that. We can fake it too. Hey look, T-Cut's here. Welcome. We were not just talking about you, it's completely fine. So we're gonna Gaussian blur this, we're gonna do the color overlay with this. We're gonna duplicate, get rid of the color overlay screen. And what really would help is if I just made this a brighter color. Yeah, I'm just gonna Gaussian blur this like a bunch. 25. That window's totally on now, right? Should probably split this up, to be honest. Could be Giannis. I really want this. I want us to be able to see that. That is what I want. I want just the slightest hint that there's a windowsill there, and that sells it way more. Way more than it already is. So we're going to get rid of the darken. We're going to get rid of the exposure. We're going to get rid of the... What is this? I don't even know what that is doing at this point. Yeah, I need to stop bucking around. That's for darn tootin' sure. See there, now the light is on. I need some of these to be out of that though. Yeah, like that. That looks better. Cool, windows. I think it was well worth the 20 minutes we spent making windows. You know, it'd be cool. So we see the sky up here. It'd be funny if the sun like exploded or something like that. Like, that would be funny. Sun exploding. Let me Google sun exploding. Are there any images of the sun exploding on the internet? Look. Which one of these images of the sun exploding would we like to use? This one? Okay. Okay. Go back here. So we've got our sky up here. We've got our sun exploding. We're just gonna drop it in behind this. Make it a little bit smaller. It totally blends in, right? Let's just mask it out. Do one of these. It shouldn't matter that much because we have a gradient overlay on it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how bad this looks. Yeah, you can't even tell what's going on. It looks so stupid. Great. All right. Yeah, I mean, there aren't any photos of the sun exploding because it hasn't exploded, so. All right, so we got, where's Devin Booker at? Nothing is labeled. He's right here. Okay, I just want to take this curves layer. I want nothing on it. I'm going to delete the whole layer mask. Invert it. I really just want another little bit of a light leak, but I want it around his hair. I'm just going to sell it a little bit more. And let's actually duplicate this. That looks good. Yeah, Kyle, I could do something with the Suns logo somewhere. I think I know what we're missing. Did I already use that on something? I don't remember. Oh, I don't want that S on that. No. That's also just like placeholder still. Like we can go back and fix that whenever we want. Because you can't really see Win. I don't really like that font. Let's just go with Dharma Gothic. Dharma. Dharma Gothic Heavy. Let's make Win the same size as Bucks. Something like this. Bucks Win. Huge. Kind of like this. If I wanted to, I should really make it say like Bucks Sun lose or something like that. Let me get rid of Bucks Win just to see what this looks like without it. See, if I do it like this, it's more of a can Devin Booker overcome Giannis sort of thing. More so than the Bucks winning. Then I can post it whenever I want. So, you know, there's got that going to me. There's also this tiny little thing at the bottom. Oh, that tiny little light leak. That looks better. Alright, what do you guys think now? I think if I just add some general... Okay, what is this doing? This is lowering the exposure. But it doesn't look like it's doing anything because it's not, because this is doing that. Okay. So I like this here, but I'm going to invert the exposure, but I'm going to darken some other areas. Like I'm going to darken down here. Don't think we need this. I'm going to hit save because I think it's breaking right now. There we go. Let's lower this more. Let's do like -4. Yeah, really darken up stuff. Oop. See how terrible that looks? It's bad. It's bad. Okay. Maybe we don't want it to -4. Maybe we want it at -3. Thanks, Bradley. I've been working on a lot of my light work. Just because, like, everyone's stupid good at it right now, and it's, like, really annoying how good people are at it. So I'm like, hey, I should probably figure out how to do it good, so then people pay me to do good work. And that's where we're at. If I had more time, I probably could add more people down here instead of just Booker, you know? Other players that play for the Suns. Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. So I kind of want this to say Bucks win. See how bad that looks. I think that'll look fine. I think it will look better if it's on the same line, like this. So I'm going to save to post this. What do you guys think the score is going to be? I'm going to put the score on here. You know, like 117. They've been low scoring games, haven't they? Let's do like 104 to like 92 or something. Something like not even close. I could just make this say NBA Finals too. That would be smart. NBA Finals. That looks nice. You should bless you with a Chicago Bears graphic before the season. Hey, there's that. I got paid. I went to school to learn how to cut things out and use scissors, not spell. Or do good grammar good. Alright. I'm going to stretch this actually up to the top. Just a little bit. Let's see if we can go into this filter gallery now, and let's see if we can dumb down the contrast. I want the size to be super small. Do I want circles? Yeah, let's do a... See, it's circling from the center. See what that looks like. Can't really tell. Cool. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I feel like making a Chicago Bears graphic before the season starts would be a bit of a stretch for me on brand. No, I've got a couple Bears graphics already made. I'll show them to you guys at the end of the stream just because. Okay, Bucks win NBA Finals. We've got that hammered down. Let's take a look at what we have right now. So this is our inspiration. This is what we have. So pretty close, you know, pretty cool. I think what's missing, there's two things I want to do. So I want to make this sad. You know, I want to make this as sad as possible for Devin Booker. So here's a bunch of rain overlays. And some of these are actually pointing down and looking at us, so they might actually work really well, like this. But I want like a faint rain overlay, which is something I was going to use in the, I think, Carey Price graphic. So I think if I just throw this on here and put it in front of him, actually underneath. So it's kind of raining. Yeah, you're paying for my pictures, not my words, 100%. All right, so we got a little bit of rain going on. So the thing with the rain is it stays mainly in the plane. I hope you guys get that reference. That's a much easier reference to get. Again, probably not. So the thing with rain is like it's gonna hit his body a little bit, but I don't know if I have the time to do that. The answer is I do. So this is an exposure layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, I'm going to modify, I'm going to contract that 1 pixel. I'm going to delete it and then invert it. And that actually looks kind of cool. But basically what it's doing is if I disable the layer mask, it's hitting the very top. Enable layer mask. Let's feather this 2.5 pixels, even though half pixels don't exist. Let's take this, set this to like 40%. So let me try something. So I'm going to boost the curves up for everything. Invert it. And then I'm just going to use a bit of a brush. Oops, I'm changing the curve here on accident, as you can see, but that's fine. Okay, stop it, curve. There. I want this brush. Because I want to hit these spots that would be getting hit with rain. I actually kind of want to blur these spots. I gotta figure out how I want to do that. I haven't played with trying to get it rain to hit someone before. So let me do this. Let me think of how I want to do this. I think I just want to make a new layer with a lightish green color and a very soft brush. And do one of these. And I know this looks bad. I'm going to adjust it and figure it out. But it's like, this is where the rain is hitting. So the air is hitting you a little bit differently. Or something like that. It's the general idea of what I want, but not great. But that kind of looks like it. You know, it kind of looks like rain's hitting him. Let's just add some noise to this. Monochromatic, uniform noise. Like that. And then let's just... What if I use like a levels layer and go like this? But then go like this as well. Yeah, that looks cool. But I think I just need to then use a soft brush to like 40% and go like this. I think that actually looks kind of cool and works. John, you're asking, what's the best tool to get a player very clear on camera raw filter? There's a couple different things you can do. We've got a couple different videos about it if you want to check those out. I talk about it a lot. Doing a high pass filter works out well. I think I have a whole stream where I just did like a Q&A. I think LeBron's the cover. Take a look at that because I take a photo of LeBron and make it, I think, clearer. So try that out. So here's this. I think this looks cool. Adding a little bit of rain, making it kind of look like it's raining on Devin Booker. I think that looks kind of nice. We'll just throw our final camera on here. And I think we're gonna change some of the edits I did and just tone them back a bit. Like, I don't think we need as much contrast. I know I have the contrast there. And the contrast is to make it so the blacks are darker, but I can just do that. I don't want clarity to change. Let's get rid of this texture we don't need. Man, me turning those blacks down really blows this out. Let's do that. Okay, what does this difference look? What do we like better? I think we need to add the blacks up and add a little bit more. I think we need some of that contrast back. I gotta boost these blacks up. You can't even read the back of his jersey when I do that. Is that from the shadows too? Yeah. So I want the dehaze there. But actually what I'm going to do... Okay, let me just delete these camera rods because I actually don't even want those on there. So I'm gonna, this is the same layer, so that's fine. So I'm gonna blur this 0.5 pixels. Let's do 1.5 pixels. Let's do 2.5 pixels. And then we'll invert that, and then I can just go in here and paint in areas I want to have a little bit more of a blur on them for lighting effects. Actually, I need this not set to normal, I need it set to screen, and that's going to make it look a lot easier. Bucks win, you know, light, light. A little bit of light here, a little bit of light up here. Light, 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 light. All right. What do we think? We think that's good? I think that's a good solution. Fun. This is a cool graphic to make. You know, maybe we don't need this layer. Maybe we put this layer and set it to like 25, something like that. I think that looks cool. So yeah, thank you for joining me again. Let's see if we can find my logo per usual. Hey, look, it's right here. Let's add this one. Set it to screen and then do a little bit of a levels adjustment layer on it because it's got a background that's not black. There we go. We'll just throw this in the corner. Boom. All right. Done. Except like this random, like what is this tag that's like super bright on Devin Booker? Like what's going on there? So I want the exposure. I went on Devin Booker. Where's Devin Booker? This is why you label things. Then you can find them. And they're not just in like group 4. Here's the screen. Here he is. Jeez, it took forever to find. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to darken this up just a little bit. Darken. 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 All right, that's better. Cool. All right, we're done. Thank you guys for joining me. This is a fun, different graphic to make. It's fun to show you, so this is the inspiration, which you can clearly see. Get rid of that. And this is what I made from it. So you can see they're completely different, but I just took the concept of person looking at building, big LCD thing on building. Here's what that looks like with person in front. So that's sort of some ways I use and find inspiration with things. I'm going to actually do one final camera raw filter. Just going to add a vignette to this. Just a little bit of a vignette. It's like -15. There we go. And then let me do this. Select, modify, contract 2 pixels. And do that. Yeah. So let me show you a couple things. Jack said I should make some Bears graphics before the season starts. Already did. So I'll share them with you just because you guys are here watching live. I'm just assuming we're going to have 2 players in the top 100. So I made 2 graphics to share. So if this, theoretically, if Khalil Mack's number 30, and then if Allen Robinson makes the list, it'll be higher up. So these are just a couple NFL top 100 graphics that a team would theoretically play. Post, just a little graphic like that. Something cool. So I'm excited to post those probably about next week. But thank you guys for joining me. If you guys have suggestions for what you want to see in tutorials or videos like this on my stream, let me know. I plan on doing another designer duel soon. Maybe next week. Maybe the 29th. If I can nail down a designer to join me, I'll let you guys know. And we'll pump that all over social media to promote it. But other than that, you guys enjoy watching the finals. I'm not going to post this graphic until the Bucks win. So if they don't win, I'll post it afterwards and be like, rip. Or I can flip it and make it Giannis looking up at Devin Booker. So other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. And I'll see you guys next time. Just make sure to like and subscribe.